Hello, my friends. Today is July 13th. Today is Sunday, and this means it is time for an update, for a market update. And on today's video, I will show you previous price action and what is more importantly, the upcoming price action of the most popular ticker symbols. And on today's video, I will cover, as usual, SPY, QQQ, SOXL, Amazon, Google, Tesla, Nvidia, Netflix, Apple, Microsoft, Meta, and Bitcoin. And before we dive deep into all of these guys, please hit the like button for YouTube algorithm. And if you want to know more about technical analysis, if you want to enhance your trading skills, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel and to join my Patreon account. And guys, I'm recording this part of the video on June 28th, and within less than a week I will close some of cheap member tiers. And let me show you just a sneak peek on the most recent call that I made just 2 days ago. You know that yesterday on Friday session on June 27th, Coinbase lost substantial amount of its value. And I made this set of posts the day before on Thursday. You can see it right here. It is June 26th, Thursday, June 26th of this year. And this top I got to the tick. I made it for my patrons, and the major sell-off happened the very next day on Friday. And guys, you can see that I made a perfect call, and it is not the only call that I made. You can find other similar achievements in the pattern articles. And that is why, guys, if you want to be a part of this community, feel free to join my Patreon, because within next several days you will not have these lucrative prices. So, and let's begin with SPY index. It is the main index that shows the sentiment of the market, and the sentiment is still quite bullish, guys. SPY is printing its higher highs and higher lows, and it doesn't have major retracements since this bottom. And by the way, I caught this bottom to the tick on QQQ index in my Patreon group, and yes, it is quite interesting, but I still stand on my position that the much deeper retracement should happen within next several weeks, I would say. And let's zoom in on an hourly time frame, and let me show you what do we have right here. From this bottom, guys, I thought that this was the very top of this asset, and I have to admit that technically speaking, the number of extensions in the last fifth wave might be up to 3 extensions. This means we might see an additional 9 waves in it. And for now, guys, well, to be honest, if my breakdown is correct, and if it is the A, B, and this is the long C wave, we might have, wait a second, we already have one extension right here, and we have the second extension in this wave. This means, yes, it can be one more tiny leg to the upside, and if nothing has changed, we might see deeper retracement. And what will be the confirmation of this retracement? First of all, guys, it has to break its previous swing lows. And this swing low is the first threshold. This is the second. And this is the most important. This is the bottom of its previous relatively substantial retracement. If it happens, this means, at least in a medium-term perspective, it will be in the, let's say, at least in consolidation phase, but most likely it should land somewhere, in my opinion. Let's, by the way, do some measurements. If I pull the Fibonacci retracement tool from the very bottom to the very top, it might land somewhere around $570 or even $553 per share. So let's switch to QQQ index, and QQQ is in quite similar position. You can see that well, this purple lines is nothing else but a blueprint. It is just one of the potential blueprints, one of my assumptions that I make for my patrons. And yes, I still can count these waves differently. And this means, guys, another potential leg is possible, but the confirmation, let's delete these tools. I don't need them for now. but the confirmation is still the same. It is the breakout below this several bottoms. And for QQQ index, the closest bottom is at $550, and the second one is right here at $545. But the most important one is this one at $524. And let's do some measurements where this asset might land on a bigger scale. Let's zoom out and let me show you like this. From the very bottom, if I pull the Fib retracement tool from the very bottom to the very top, again, the levels from 0.32 to 0.5 might be the levels of potential reaction. And to be honest, I think 0.236 might not hold the price action because QQQ is more volatile asset compared to SPY. That is why 0.382 at roughly $497.96 and 0.5 levels at $479.39 might be the points of control from which this asset might have a substantial reaction and even a trend reversal. So let's switch to another ticker symbol. It is SOXL. And guys, SOXL has basically more clear structure because, it also has an extension in its fifth wave, but wait a second, I will show you in details. Let's switch to hourly time frame. But the formation this last wave is quite obvious for the people who know how to trade these type of patterns. It is nothing else but a rising bearish wedge, and this means, guys, this asset, when it breaks this bottom, if it breaks it with the conviction of volume, most likely it will be a harsh sell-off, and that will land again. Let me show you from the very bottom to the very top. If I pull the Fib retracement tool, we can land from the levels of 0.32. It is the price point of 19.74 to 0.5. I don't think that it might go lower, despite the fact that it is a leveraged ETF on the on the semiconductor industry, and this means it has the highest volatility among other ticker symbols that I cover in this video. But in general, even the 0.382 Fib level might bring up to 27% of potential profit if you enter your short position at the breakout point of this formation. So yes, I'm still bearish in general on this asset as well. Let's switch to Magnificent 7, and let's first of all take a look at Amazon. Well, as you can see, I also expect deeper retracement and deeper movement to the downside that potentially might land somewhere at around $193. And to be honest, guys, this sideways movement for the last week, means nothing because it is not more than just 2% in either direction. This means, it can be the very top, the local top for this asset, and this type of ABC correction might start this week, and that is why, guys, be cautious with your long position as usual and wait for more confirmation. Let's switch to Google. And here is quite tricky part because I was anticipating that the B wave of the retracement on the bigger scale was formed at this point, but this sideways movement makes me thinking that something is wrong in this count. And what might be the new count, and what are the crucial levels for Google? Take a look right here. It is scratching its top, and it is basically triple top pattern. This means, guys, if the price breaks the level of $182, if it retests this range from the top as the range of support, most likely Google will go much higher, and it will. Wait a second. Let's zoom out a little bit. So it is quite far from its all-time high, but nevertheless, guys. In general, if I connect, let me show you like this. If I connect these several bottoms, you can see that, wait a second, I will do it like this. First of all, we have these higher highs and higher lows, not higher highs, but equal highs and higher lows. And technically speaking, it might be some kind of ascending ascending triangle that usually breaks to the upside. On top of that, guys, we have a triple retest of this range, and the more retest certain range of support or resistance has, the more likely it will be broken with the next test. Another quite interesting part, guys, if it breaks it to the upside, retested from the top as the range of support and goes higher, it means that Google might retest its all-time high. But otherwise, if the breakout happens to the downside, and we still have this possibility on the table, if it happens to the downside, the next point of control is this sloping line. It is a very long line. Wait a second, of support that was drawn by connecting several bottoms of 2023, of October of 2023, March of 2024, and September of 2024. And this line holds perfectly well previously, and it can still be a range of support. That is why, guys, wait for the breakout out of this formation, out of this triangle, and depending on the volume during this breakout and the structure of this breakout, we can conclude in which direction this asset might go in the upcoming weeks. So let's switch to Tesla. And Tesla is, well, it is acting exactly as I predicted. So I caught a lot of its crucial pivotal points. And right now, guys, well, it is information of its B wave, and potentially the bottom of the A wave might be at this point. We might see another push to the upside to complete the B wave, or the B wave might already have its stop right here, but I prefer to see a little bit higher price target. And then it can have an attempt to break this bottom in order to complete the C wave, and potentially this lowest point might also be broken. And guys, let me remind you about this arrow that I marked from this top. Technically speaking, we might still have this movement to the downside, because we didn't break this top where I made this assumption. This means, guys, this type of consolidation might be an undecisive phase for Tesla, because if this bottom, if the price action breaks this bottom, most likely it will retest this level of $214. But the bullish count is still on the table, and the confirmation of this bullish count to form this fifth wave, the top of the fifth wave, will be breakout above this initial point of 360, let's say $370. So let's switch to Nvidia. And Nvidia is still printing its higher highs and higher lows, and partially because of Nvidia, the SOXL index is moving higher and higher. And guys, if you take a look at SOXL index that I just covered for you, if this formation is broken to the downside, in this case, guys, all the chip makers will have a very harsh sell-off. And I still think that Nvidia is scratching its top, and potentially it can start to move to the downside basically anytime soon. But the confirmation, because of this structure, the confirmation of its at least medium-term downtrend will be breakout below $151.06, which is quite far from our current price. It is at about almost 8.5% below the current price. That is why, guys, be cautious, but I suggest I suggest not to enter your long position, because on multiple time frames, Nvidia is scratching its other salt levels. So let's switch to Netflix. And I made this forecast for my Patreons, and as you can see, this green rectangle was the price target for Netflix that I drew basically months ago, and it hit this price target perfectly well and started to go to the downside. I have to admit that if I switch to 2 hours time frame, you can see that if I connect these three bottoms, we had a touch of this line right here on July the 8th. It had a bounce to the upside, but then it broke it to the downside, guys. And let me show you the volume of this breakout. The volume of this candle is quite substantial, more than 232 wait a second 232,000 shares, and this is a real breakout below this crucial level, and potentially, guys, Netflix has started its movement to the downside. And if so, let's switch to 4 hours time frame and let's zoom out a little bit. If so, guys, the levels wait a second, at which it can land. First of all, guys, the confirmation of this movement will be definitely breakout below $1,187.44. If it happens, only in this case we can assume and we can project the levels where it can land. So let's switch to Apple. And Apple is approaching again to this yellow line of $214. And if, guys, wait a second, let's delete this one of the forecasts of one of my previous videos. If this level, if Apple retests this level for another at least one time, I think it can break it to the upside. And if so, guys, Apple will be in the short-term perspective the most bullish asset on the US stock market. That is why wait for this confirmation. And in general, this structure to the upside makes me thinking that well, because of this quite substantial volume of this movement to the upside and of the breakout, as I marked and as I told you in one of my previous videos, potentially it is a very good impulsive movement, and for now it is correcting in its fourth wave from this bottom. Wait a second, I will show you. This might be the first, second, third, fourth, and one more leg to the upside that should break this yellow line. So if it happens, guys, the next structural level of resistance is at $225.34. That is why, guys, I think Apple is one of the most bullish ones if it breaks this yellow line. Next one, Microsoft. Well, Microsoft is still printing its higher highs and higher lows with these quite choppy movements. And guys, these type of movements are very difficult to count. It is very difficult to count the waves in these movements. That is why, guys, the only sign of its bearishness will be breakout below this this line of support, this trend line. If it happens, and we have to see, let me show you this false breakout right here. It didn't have during the breakout, wait a second, I will show you in details right here. During the breakout, it didn't have sufficient volume. It broke it right here, but the movement to the upside has a very indicative volume that it is and it was still very bullish. So, and we have to see the breakout with an increase in volume. Only in this case, it will be a confirmation of the real breakout, and the next points of control will be defined only when this breakout happens. So, let's switch to Meta. Well, and Meta is staying in line with my forecast. Technically speaking, this might be a part of its A wave, and if so, guys, if this, wait a second, I will show you, if this top holds, we have all the chances to break this bottom at $680 and even retest this structural level of support at $625, $625.48. But the first confirmation of this movement will be breakout below this previous tiny level of support, and it already had this attempt, but it failed during the late Friday sessions. But I believe it can make another attempt to break it, and the next point of control will be $687.87. So let's switch to Bitcoin price action. And Bitcoin, guys, is on fire. I told you that potentially the retracement from this swing low that it established in June, on June 22nd of this year, it has very substantial movement to the upside, and then this sideways consolidation phase. From this bottom, it could have the attempt to break its all-time highs, and it happened. And this movement to the upside, guys, on the same scale that we had this movement, let me delete this tool, but let me show you this. We might have this as our first wave, This is the second. Well, I think we might have even one more leg to the upside to complete the third wave. Then it has to have a fourth wave and fifth wave that will break all-time high at least once. So, and when it happens, guys, potentially this top might be a contender. Of this top of the fifth wave on the biggest scale. And if so, guys, the chances that Bitcoin is approaching to its next all-time high, and it is approaching to its next major trend reversal right before the crypto winter begins, I think we are very close to this point. That is why, guys, yes, it is very bullish for now, but the trend reversal might happen within a blink of an eye. That is why be cautious, and if you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel with notification bell, and see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap.